I haven't done much.
I mean, you read a lot of books, don't you? Oh, you know how much we all love your book reviews, so...
Fuck off. I started reading Nocturnal, Liam, but I'm only 67% through.
That's one of the ones I recommended to you, though, right?
Yeah, I'm reading the ones you've recommended
Right,
because I'm trying to prove to you that mine are just as good.
Right, okay, cool, good luck with that. Could you give, like, our listeners a little teaser, maybe, of what to expect from that review when you get around to it?
Yeah, got it. It's pretty good.
Thanks, Jack. That's going to keep
No
them
problem,
on the
Liam.
hook, ready for the next episode. Oh, I bet they can't wait now. Anything else?
No, that's it,
That's
Liam.
bullshit, because you know that we were going to talk about Star Trek and Crash Bandicoot.
Alright, so since Liam's now got his PlayStation VR, there's 4 of us, Dan Palmer, who has been on the show before, and Tom Hogan, who some of you might remember as the guy that used to do our episode art, which was always beautiful.
It was, and we might have a job for him soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 4 of us have been playing Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is an entirely VR game where you man the bridge of a starship.
Yeah. I mean, so Jason, if I'm right in thinking you don't do like, a lot of gaming and stuff?
No, man, I'm getting old now. I've lost touch with all that stuff. I went, when I was in New Brunswick visiting my parents, my nephew lives there, and he was playing Star Wars Battlefront. And I wanted to try that out. He's got a PlayStation 4, and my girlfriend and I are hesitant. I wanted to get one because Battlefront 2 is coming out, and I really wanted to try that out because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And just getting used to Battlefront, I felt like my dad felt when the Nintendo came out.
Okay.
You know, and he was like, how the fuck do you guys play this thing? He's just jumping around and you guys are so quick. And, you know, my dad would be like, fuck this. I'm just going to go upstairs and watch, you know, some version of Top Gear that was in the 80s. And that's it. Right now, I'm pretty sure that if I sat down to try to get used to this, I'd probably be okay. Because I used to play a lot when I was a kid. And I loved, I had a Nintendo Wii U at one point, which I sold because it was...
Okay, that's quite recent.
Yeah, it was bullshit, though. I mean, I played Batman on it, and I like Formula 1 games because I'm a huge Formula 1 fan. And Batman game was great. I had a lot of fun doing that. But now my kids are getting older, and I just have so much on my plate, a lot of reading with the podcast and all. It just, at one point, I don't know when I'd get gaming in. So it's still on the fence about that. So I'm not a big gamer. I enjoy it. Like, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. You know, occasionally, like once a year, my buddies and I will get together and have a Mortal Kombat tournament. And, you know, I used to play at the arcade. That's how old I am now. And so, yeah, I wish I could get back in, but I don't think that I'll ever get to like a, you know, to wear the moniker of gamer ever again. I think that's past now, sadly.
To be fair, I felt like that at one point, and then got sucked back into it. And yeah, now here we are. So has the idea of like VR gaming kind of tickled your fancy at all?
Oh, definitely. It looks great. I mean, when you're a kid, that's exactly what you want. You want to be inside the game. And so now that we're there, I'm surprised it took this long. You know, I remember my dad talking to me about when he was a kid and he looked at the year 2000 and he'd been promised flying cars. He's fucking disappointed now. But at least, you know, I get to see VR before, you know, I get that to pass on. So... yeah, this is exactly where video games have wanted to go all along, in my opinion. So I'm super happy that this is happening.
Yeah, and to bring it back to Star Trek, it's a fun game, but it's quite short, I thought.
So at the moment, it feels like a lot of the VR games that we're getting tend to be on the shorter side.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's a limitation in, you know, making it VR, they're having to use more space on discs and stuff, but I don't think it can account for... because, I mean, we finished it in, what, three sessions of about 2 hours?
Yeah. 2 to 3 hours a session, I'd say.
And that's, and we've done now all the main missions.
Yeah. But so...
me and you have both platinum trophied it.
Yeah. So for anyone who, like, is listening and isn't too sure what the actual gameplay is, essentially you're manning... it's not the Enterprise, is it? It's the Aegis, they call it?
Yeah, I think it might be the ship that was in the you know, they did that modern series of Star Trek. Like the most recent one. Oh no, was that still the Enterprise? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So basically, there's 4 different roles for you to take. You've got Captain, who basically gives orders.
Yep.
Helm, who steers the ship. Tactical, who kind of handles like shooting when it comes to combat and scanning life forms and stuff that's around. And then Engineer, that kind of dictates where power goes. So if you want the helm to be able to go quicker, the engineer sorts that out, so on and so forth. So
or if you want to punish the helm because the helm's been pissing you off, you can just like take all the power away from him.
I mean, if you're not a team player, yeah, that's what you can definitely do.
It's the funnest thing on the ship.
I mean, bear in mind, there is a captain who should be kind of issuing those sort of commands. So if the captain wants you to punish the helm, then yeah, you could. But for the engineer to just take that on his own initiative, I mean, that's not really how crewing a ship works, is it?
Well,
in real life, is all I'm saying.
Well, in real life, Liam, we don't have starships like that, so it's hard to say.
Well, but yeah. So what do you think of it, Jack? Like the game itself?
I really like it. It's one of those ones where it like sort of showcases to me what VR could be. Like the idea that you look around and there are 4 avatars that are your friends and they're all moving. Like we currently have a thing where me and Liam will just occasionally turn around and just do the wanker sign at each other. And it's genuinely one of the funnest things in gaming I've ever done.
Yeah, my favourite is when we do that and we have like someone else who's playing and they're sort of positioned between us and they look up and we both stop immediately.
It's like getting caught in class again.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
like
brilliant.
There's just something about, it's weird. The fact that you can like look around at people and have those sort of moments where like 2 people are focused on their consoles and you can sort of, do some childish gestures. It's honestly, it's just so fun and cool that you're all fucking miles apart, but all sitting there in this sort of virtual room.
Yeah. Kat did a tweet saying that she thought it was adorable. She was upstairs, like working on her blog or something, and apparently all she heard was me say, "Let's go scanning," really excitedly. Which she just thought was adorable, apparently.
It is good.
What would you give it out of 5?
I think it's a 4 out of 5. It's a shame it's not longer, but it is really fun for what it is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I hope that they do some like extra content for it soon.
Just imagine the amount of rendering it takes to create that 360 or more world. That's intense, man. That's a lot of computer generating.
Yeah.
So I think they're short because of the fact, like Jack mentioned earlier, it's the sheer size of that file, fitting it like that.
Yeah.
And so possible that they might actually create more content. I think that's what they were doing with, there's a Star Wars game that was coming out where you actually are X-Wing pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Apparently that one's short too, but they're actually working on different levels, like Jack mentioned a little bit earlier. So I don't know if maybe they're going to do with the Star Trek one as well.
I mean, that's what that would be ideal if they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already like they've got so you've got this main ship that you're flying for all the campaign stuff, but they've got this other mode which is like you just get a random mission and you go and do that.
Right.
And in that mode, you can fly in the original Enterprise, which literally is you get a console in front of you, just covered in buttons, and the game doesn't label them or anything. You can turn on labeling, but it's just so fun. We played it with Liam and didn't tell him there was that button, and he just had this. I've since sat on in the same role he was in, and you just get about 20 buttons. You have no idea what any of them do. And there was this moment where I just turned round and Liam's character's arms were by his side. His head was just like drooped down in front of him. And I was like, "Oh, Liam, have you given power to engines?" And he went, yeah, I have. And I was like, "You're a liar.
Jesus.
You don't know what you're doing."
That reminds me of the short Pixar film, Lifted. It's about this young alien who is trying to abduct a young boy, and it's his training, and he's in the cockpit of that spaceship, and he's got, if it's not 1,000 buttons he can press, it's got to be more. And so there's this teacher there that's trying to tell him, okay, well, you got to try to choose it. And the kid that they're trying to abduct essentially is just banging on walls and shit because the kid doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So I could just imagine what your experience entering the Enterprise with all those buttons might be. So anyway, if you want to give it a shot, check out the short Pixar film called Lifted. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I do like the Pixar shorts, but I just always forget to kind of, if I don't catch the film at the cinema, I always forget to then go and look for them.
Yeah. Well, that one was paired with Ratatouille, if I'm not mistaken.
I only saw that like in the last couple of years. It was okay. It wasn't like one of Pixar's best. It was fine.
All right.
Or maybe I'm wrong.
It's good, man. It's highly imaginative, but I mean, I don't give a shit about it. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Star Trek. Done?
Yeah.
Cool.